So my name is Louis Narducci, and this is my presentation on solving cyberbullying. So looking at the stimulus packet, in the first article by Edward Kessler and in the letter from Birmingham jail by Dr. Martin Luther King, I found two themes that I would like to research on. The first theme from Edward Kessler of social media can be exemplified by this quote: "Social media sites have grown exponentially in the last 5 years." And from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere," brought up the theme of solving injustice. So with these two themes together, my research is, how can we stop the negative effects that cyberbullying in American teenagers create? Now, first, before we can solve the problem, let's look at how this is a problem. According to Social Media, Social Life, Teens Reveal Their Experiences, which was posted in Journal Education, 7 in 10 teens now say they use social media more than once a day, compared with 34% 6 years ago. As you can see in the graph, that is double what it was in just 6 years alone. What this means is that on social media, there's now more bad apples, people who use social media just for negative reasons rather than the positives that social media can provide. Furthermore, according to Social Media and the Movement Ideas by Edward Kessler, consequentially, the ordinary rules of behavior are suspended, especially when people believe they are anonymous and no longer take responsibility for their words. What Kessler is saying is that the anonymity that social media provides creates, people would say things online that they would never say in real life. In the context of cyberbullying, that means that people online are much more ruthless to their victims than they would be with traditional bullying. These have led to a general upward trend in lifetime cyberbullying victimization rates. According to Justin Patchen, an assistant professor at the University of Wisconsin, they polled 100 students from every year for 10 different times, and they saw that as the years went on, that more people were reporting that they were victims of cyberbullying. Now, this leads into the effects of cyberbullying. According to an article from the Journal of Adolescent Health titled "Psychological, Physical, and Academic Correlations of Cyberbullying and Traditional Bullying," they found that given the accessibility of electronic victims to their perpetrators and often the anonymous nature of the electronic exchanges, the cyber victims would report problem behaviors that were just as negative, if not more negative, than victims of traditional bullying. The report goes on to later explain these problems, and they report psychological effects of anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem, physical effects of stomach pains, sleep problems, headaches, tension, bedwetting, fatigue, and poor appetite, and academic effects that the victims would dislike school, receive poorer grades, and lower standardized test scores. This leads into my first solution: to combat and stop cyberbullies directly. This means to prevent cyberbullies from ever being able to effectively harass victims. These are things like reporting, blocking, or just ignoring cyberbullies. Again, according to Justin Patchen, when he polled victims of cyberbullying on what they found helped to remove the bullying, nearly 1/3 of those who had been cyberbullied told us blocking had worked for them. Reporting abusive behavior on the website, app, or game was also a commonly used technique. These techniques are already used on common social media sites like Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram, but I believe they can be further improved on. And this leads to the limitations, is that for this to occur, cyberbullying must have already happened. You can't report somebody before they've done anything. You can't block them before they've done anything. And another problem with this is that cyberbullies can just continue to make new accounts. So when you're blocking and reporting, it stops that account, not the person. And if they're really determined to harass a victim as much as possible, they will continue to make different accounts and continue to harass the victim. Anyway, the implications of this is that we'll see an increase in ways of reporting and blocking people from social media sites as they improve this, and overall a decrease in cyberbullying. This is my second solution, which is provide better assistance for victims of cyberbullying. These are ways like therapy and more and better options of therapy for victims of cyberbullying. According to a review of cyberbullying and suggestions for online physical therapy, which was published in the Journal of Internet Interventions, psychological therapies have been consistently shown as effective in helping individuals of all ages to deal with distress, and in recent years, internet-based psychological treatment is gaining more momentum and showing positive effects for a range of clinical populations. What the authors of this report are saying is that online therapies have shown more promise, and this is good because online therapy is much easier to access and overall better, according to the report, than traditional therapy. However, this solution does have limitations. It did not solve the root problem. Cyberbullying would still occur and would still affect the victims, and therapy is voluntary. If victims don't believe they need therapy, they won't seek it. Again, according to Justin Pechin, they found that victims of cyberbullying often believed it was their fault for the cyberbullying and that they would not seek therapy because they thought that was the easy way out. Overall, though, the implications of this, the teens overall will be better with coping skills since they're receiving therapy, and cyberbullies would become less impactful online. In conclusion, I found that to solve cyberbullying, people should focus efforts mainly on solution 2 of increasing solutions for increasing the gain access for therapy, but do not ignore the benefits that solution 1 has. This would mean that you don't stop the ignoring and blocking and reporting problems like that, and that you improve on those, but mainly focus on solution 2 of therapy. Thank you.